Welcome to this week's lesson segment on Weekly Outdoor Plus, brought to you by Barbershop, 2400 Church Street, Stevens Point, where they have the most wide variety of vacuums, sewing machines, and parts you can need, and great service to go along with it. So get your notebooks and pencils out, because it's time for your lesson segment with myself, Jase Hintz, and Weekly Outdoor Plus. Hey guys, this week I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about bow fishing. I've heard a lot of talk about it around town, a lot of it in the shop, a lot of guys setting up bows, a lot of guys at work, and it's that time of season again to get out there and, you know, slay some carp or whatever you're going to be bow fishing, no matter where you are. And I want to give you guys some pointers on how to shoot with fingers, how to shoot out of a boat, and, you know, still having the proper form and aiming without a sight, because a lot of people don't have sights on those bows for the reason you don't know how far you're going to be shooting. You know, depth of the water and everything makes a play in this. So just little hints about it. I mean, I'm not a professional at this, but I know a lot of little hints about shooting, 1 with no sight, 2 with fingers, and 3 out of a boat for the different stability you're going to have. So first off, we're going to start just like we talked, you know, from week 1 of this entire deal, was your base. All right, you got to have a nice little bit wider base in a boat, because if your feet are too close together, obviously you're going to be tipping a lot easier. Wider the base, more you spread out your weight, a lot flatter surface, a lot better standing, stable shooting. Next thing, when you're shooting out of a boat, 90% of your shots are going to be shooting down at the ground. So again, we talked about this, you got to bend at your waist. All right, you're not going to be sitting here and you're going to be bending your whole body. All you got to do is, when you're standing, bend your waist. All right, if you bend your waist, you have the same upper body form, and that'll make you hold just as steady, because your waist is a big, strong muscle that's not going to be moving very much. The little things with shooting with your fingers, there's a lot, I mean, that you can go through, but the biggest things to start is you need to be on the outside of your fingers, like the last line to your fingertips. You know, not your knuckle crease. You need to be at the tip of your knuckles, all right? Tip of your fingers, so when you do shoot, you're not rolling the string, it's more of a flick, so it actually gets a clean release out of it, and you're not going to be shooting left and right. All right, so the closer to the tips of your fingers as you can pull back your bow is the best. Again, when you pull back, like I was saying, there's a flick. When you pull back, anchor, and aim, you want to actually flick it out and have a follow through, instead of, like most people will be grabbing the whole string and they'll just try to let go of it at once. It's all going to roll off. Where if you flick it and have a follow through, it's going to be a clean release like your normal shot, and you have less play in there and there's less roll off the string. Especially with that follow through, if you emphasize it, it'll be faster, cleaner release. That's all you need to worry about. I mean, to start, it'll help you out a lot in the long run if you can use a back tension basically by aiming and slowly pulling, so it'll fire by itself. The big thing with aiming with your sight, with no sight actually, is going to be, 1, naturally, you stare at the animal, you stare at the fish, you stare at what you're going for. Secondly, in your peripheral vision, you'll be seeing the tip of your arrow. And that's basically what you're aiming with, is going to be the tip of your arrow. By far the easiest. Some people look right down the shaft. I find it a lot easier if you get back to your normal anchor point. Find your anchor point on your face and everything, and make your shot. And when you're aiming, you're going to stare at that fish where you want to hit it. And when you follow through it and go through it, you're naturally going to see the tip of your arrow. And when you're looking at that arrow, obviously you're going to be lower than center if you have a natural anchor point. You're going to be just below the animal. You got to practice a little bit with it. I mean, your first 2 fish you might not hit, but you got to find out where you need to aim at them. And that's one thing, checking out that tip of your arrow is the easiest aiming dot that you could possibly find. If you look down your shaft, that's one way to do it. You can try it if you think that it'll be easier for you. But I mean, it's just hard to find a consistent anchor point by having it knocked way up by your eye so you can see down it. So, I mean, basically try to get your same anchor point, tips of your fingers, aiming with the tip of that arrow. And if you can get that clean follow through, you're gonna be a lot more successful in the long run, get a lot more fish. It's gonna be a lot more fun experience, more enjoyable. So, quick recap. First, a little bit wider base, nice setup base. Second, bend at your waist, especially on the low shots when they're right by your boat and you got to bend down. Bending at your waist, not at your upper body. All right. Finally, fingertips, aiming with the tip of your arrow. All right. Get your anchor point just like you always had it. Let it go. Follow through. Flick it. Kill that fish. Have a good time. It'll be a lot more enjoyable when you're hitting the fish instead of chasing them around the lake. All right. So pick up those little things. Try them out. They should help you out, and as always, be safe, have fun. See you guys next week.